Right now, noon, a breakthrough deal in the Senate giving hope the shutdown could end soon. New developments on the compromise and why Democrats are divided. And we're coming off a cold and snowy weekend across southern Wisconsin when we can expect a warm-up in your first warn forecast. This is News 3 Now at noon. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Josh Spreiter. There is new hope the government shutdown could end as soon as this week. Senators meeting through the weekend negotiated a breakthrough deal with enough moderate Democrats signing on to move it forward. Natalie Brand has the latest.
Senators returned to Capitol Hill this morning with optimism the record-long government shutdown could soon end. 7 Democrats and an independent voted with Senate Republicans late Sunday to advance a House-passed short-term funding measure.
The motion upon reconsideration is agreed to.
Under a compromise deal negotiated by moderates, that bill would be amended to fund the government through January, reverse shutdown-related federal layoffs, and guarantee back pay to all federal employees. It also includes 3 longer appropriations bills for certain agencies, including agriculture, which funds SNAP.
Keeping the government shut down for another week or another month doesn't indicate that there would be any change in the outcome. All it would mean is that more Americans would suffer.
The deal also promises a Senate vote on health care in early December, but without a guarantee to extend the Enhanced Affordable Care Act tax credits, a number of Democrats are calling this plan a mistake.
You can get 100 votes here in the Senate. Won't mean anything because the House is not going to take it up, and the President of the United States certainly will not sign it.
The agreement must still be approved by the Senate and the House. It comes as the impacts of the shutdown are reaching a boiling point for federal workers, air travelers, and those who rely on federal food assistance. Food pantries across the country saw long lines this weekend as the Trump administration ordered states to undo steps taken to restore full SNAP benefits, with a legal fight still playing out.
If we don't get SNAP until the shutdown's over, we could end up literally starving.
As for those trying to travel, thousands of flights were canceled or delayed this weekend as the FAA began to phase in cuts at major airports. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
A federal appeals court is ruling the Trump administration must pay full food stamp benefits for tens of millions of Americans in November. It's the latest ruling in the administration's effort to provide only partial funding for food stamps. On Thursday, a U.S. district judge ordered that funding for full November SNAP benefits be released by the end of Friday. Then on Friday, the administration pressed the appeals court to scrap that order. When the appeals court declined, the administration asked the Supreme Court to intervene. Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson agreed to temporarily pause the order, but Sunday's appeals court ruling now tees up another round of legal wrangling before the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is also rejecting a call to overturn its decision that legalized same-sex marriage nationwide. The justices turned away an appeal from Kim Davis, the former Kentucky clerk, who refused to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples after the High Court's 2015 ruling. The court did not explain its reasoning to deny the appeal. The Supreme Court's decision to decline to hear the Davis appeal sets no precedent. If another appeal arrives threatening to undermine or overturn Obergefell, the court will review that appeal from scratch. Now, for a check of your first warn forecast, here's meteorologist Jacob Montesano.
Temperatures are going to be cold throughout the afternoon. Highs are only going to be in the middle 30s, pretty similar to yesterday, easily below normal for this time of the year. As we take a look at the wind chills, 20s right now, they're going to stay in the 20s throughout the afternoon. And as we get to the overnight hours, they will drop into the teens. So another very cold morning tomorrow morning. But by the time we get to the afternoon, it will be better wind chills in the 30s. Now, we are going to see some snow tonight, but for the rest of today, just a mix of some cloudy skies and then some sunny skies at other points. But as we get closer to midnight, we'll see some snow showers begin moving into our area from the west, and we could continue to see some light snow into the early morning hours Tuesday. I don't expect to see much of any accumulation, although we could see rain at the end of this system before it clears out by Tuesday afternoon as those temperatures warm up. And from there, we're going to continue to see the temperatures warm up along with pretty dry weather, and I'll talk more about that coming up a little bit later.
All right, Jacob, thank you. Track the forecast for yourself on the First Warn weather app with hourly planners, road conditions, and radar. Download it for free in your phone's app store by searching WISC Weather. If you still need a pair of skis this winter season or are looking to get rid of some, then look no further. The largest ski resale in Wisconsin is set to return for its 61st annual event next month. The Hoofer Ski and Snowboard Club offers people the chance to buy and sell discounted gear for all ages before the upcoming winter season. People can drop off items like snowboards, helmets, jackets, Nordic skis, downhill skis, and goggles. Those interested in selling their new or gently used gear can bring up to 10 items to Union South between 5 and 8 on December 4th or between noon and 8 on the 5th. The sale will take place on the 6th and 7th of December. Well, snow and freezing cold, what else would you expect for a marathon in Wisconsin? The Madison Marathon happened Sunday in what was the coldest weekend yet this fall. The race, which includes a full marathon, a half, and a 10K, is an annual tradition on the Isthmus. About 7,000 runners braved the weather this year.
This was probably my favorite one. I mean, personally, and then as well as just the atmosphere. I mean, I did the Madison Marathon about 3 years ago. It just gets better and better each time, and this one's just, I love it.
It's incredibly awesome. People are so supportive. Everyone's cheering for you, giving you high fives. It really powers you through. It was a great course.
Yeah, congratulations to our Armand Rahman. He was a part of it as well as a bunch of our other team members. So congratulations to everyone. Yesterday's fastest time, 2 hours and 23 minutes. That's just 3 minutes shy of the course record set last year. Well, happening tonight, the Packers are set to take on the defending Super Bowl champs, Philadelphia Eagles, on Monday Night Football. Last year, the Eagles bounced the Packers out of the playoffs, and Green Bay is looking to bounce back from that loss to Carolina. Kickoff is 7:15 tonight on ESPN. We'll have highlights and reaction tomorrow on News 3 Now this morning. Hey, the Goodman Community Center getting ready to help families in need for Thanksgiving beginning Saturday. They're looking for food and money donations to help fill 4,000 baskets. News 3 Now is once again a proud partner. You can start donating online right now at goodmancenter.org/donate. Still ahead for us on News 3 Now at noon. If you have a question or concern about your plants or garden, now's the time to send us your questions via email to tips@channel3000.com. Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company will join us later in the broadcast with the answers. But first, after the break, why some infant formula is now being recalled. Plus, what Wells Fargo is saying about the cost of a Thanksgiving meal this year.
The FAA reduction in flights across 40 major airports due to the government shutdown could have an impact on air cargo. It comes at the same time UPS and FedEx grounded their McDonnell Douglas MD-11 aircraft after a UPS plane crashed in Louisville, Kentucky last week, killing at least 14 people. Logistics companies say the issues shouldn't affect delivery of packages at this point, but that could change closer to the holidays. Health officials are investigating 13 cases across 10 states of infant botulism linked to baby formula. The FDA says the By Heart brand is recalling 2 lots of its whole nutrition infant formula. The 13 babies were all hospitalized. No deaths were reported. Symptoms of infant botulism include poor feeding, loss of head control, and difficulty swallowing. The symptoms can take weeks to develop, so the CDC is warning parents to stay vigilant. And grocery prices may be higher these days, but expect your Thanksgiving meal to be a little cheaper. Costs have dropped 2 to 3% this year, according to a Wells Fargo analysis. Consumers buying store brands should expect to pay about $80 for a Thanksgiving meal that will feed 10 people, according to the financial services company Empower. The analysis shows brand names will push the cost up about $15. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Jesse Mitchell.
Here's a look at the current stock numbers at the noon hour. The Dow's up 236 points, NASDAQ up 463, and the S&P 500 up this noon hour 80. Pam has today's farm numbers up next, and Jacob is tracking the first warn forecast. Then later on Live at 4, we're live at Lambeau Field ahead of the Packers taking on the Eagles in Monday Night Football. Time to check in now with Pam Yankee for the Midwest Farm Report. She's live at Pambo ahead of the big showdown for Monday Night Football. Hi, Pam.
Hi, Josh. Yeah, you're right. I'm looking outside. There's even still room on the street for parking, and if anybody wants to come up early. We're looking forward to a good game and no snow on the ground up here in Green Bay. In fact, we didn't get any snow over the course of the weekend. All right, so speaking of the weekend, it was the crescendo of the Wisconsin Honey Producers annual convention that was held in Neenah, and they crowned new royalty, their 2026 Wisconsin Honey Queen. First, let's say congratulations and thank you to Emily Seidow. She is the outgoing 2025 Wisconsin Honey Queen. She's done a wonderful job speaking up for the industry, working through education and helping folks know a little bit more about Wisconsin's valuable honey business. And then the coronation of Emily Scala as the 2026 Wisconsin Honey Queen. Emily is an active beekeeper herself. She's also a member of the Brown County Beekeepers Association. And interestingly enough, she was the Wisconsin Honey Producers Youth Scholar winner a year or two back. She's been very engaged with the association. In fact, I noticed that one of the presentations she made during the convention to the membership as a whole focused in on marketing opportunities for Wisconsin honey. So she's definitely paying attention to the business side of the industry. Congratulations again, Emily Scala, our 2026 Wisconsin Honey Queen. You know, we were just talking about the cost of the Thanksgiving meal. The Minnesota Turkey Growers Association want people to know the price you're paying for the bird this year may not necessarily reflect some of the challenges that they have faced, especially late in the season with high-path avian influenza. Ashley Korth, who is their executive director, said many times the turkey is the magnet that grocery stores use to try to get people into the store by discounting the prices. She said, you may not necessarily get a complete picture of what's been happening with our turkey industry this year, especially given high-path avian influenza. Markets on the midday in Chicago. Well, we're looking forward to more USDA information that's coming out this week. Some pent-up reports like milk production, as well as our World Ag Supply Demand Report, crop progress, and crop quality updates also going to be exploding into the marketplace today. The barrel cheese on a Monday starts a quarter-cent lower at $1.69 3/4. 40-pound block cheese, that stands unchanged at $1.66. Double A butter, maybe as we're getting closer to the baking season, up 3.5 at $1.51 a pound. So gotta go find my long johns, Josh. I think I might need them tonight. Then I'm not gonna go to Boots yet because it's dry, but I may need long johns to make sure I can accommodate everybody at Pambo and Comfort.
Well, go Pack, go Pam. Enjoy tonight, and hopefully we're celebrating a Packers win tonight and into tomorrow, and then we'll see you again on Wednesday, right?
Yep, go Pack.
All right, thanks, Pam. Let's check in with that certified most accurate forecast now. First.
Cold temperatures again today for the rest of the day with some snow showers later tonight. And then we are going to see those temperatures warm up throughout the week. But again, it's going to be cold throughout the afternoon. 30s are expected for the high temperatures. The average high is supposed to be in the upper 40s for this time of the year. And we'll continue to see those cold temperatures overnight. Lows in the upper 20s, maybe lower 30s, as we will see a little bit more cloud cover, which will also bring in the chance of snow. I'll talk about that in just a moment. But first, wind chills are going to remain in the 20s throughout the afternoon, teens once we get towards tomorrow morning. So it is going to be another cold morning. And then looking at tomorrow or afternoon, we are going to see those wind chills in the 30s. And at this point, we're probably not even going to be talking about the wind chills because they're just going to continue to get warmer from there. Now, as we take a look at the actual temperature forecast for tomorrow, we'll be back in the 40s with a good amount of sunshine for the afternoon, maybe some lingering flurries in the morning, but the better chance of snow will be during the overnight hours. So taking a look at future track for the rest of today, again, just seeing some on and off cloudy skies, maybe some clear skies at other points with those cloudy skies developing overnight. And then here comes some passing snow showers. I don't expect to see much of any accumulation. The most we'll see is about a ½ inch, but pretty much everybody will be below that. And some areas may not even see any snow at all, specifically in southwest Wisconsin. And a lot of this will clear out by sunrise Tuesday, maybe some lingering flurries into the morning hours. But then by the afternoon, we'll see a decent amount of sunshine. And once we do dry up, we're going to be pretty dry for the rest of the work week. Our next chance of any kind of precipitation will be next weekend. And it'll actually be in the form of rain at that point because temperatures will warm up throughout the week. So let's take a look at that weekend rain chance. Dry for Friday. That was starting Friday. Now we're into Saturday afternoon, still seeing some cloudy skies with rain expected to move in overnight Saturday and continue into early Sunday. Could see some snow showers at times, but I do expect this to be mostly rain simply because it will be a lot milder for the weekend. And then as we get towards Sunday evening, a lot of that looks to clear out of the region. So as we take a look at the 7 to 10 day forecast, pretty dry for the rest of the work week. Again, some snow showers tonight, but most of Tuesday should be dry. Highs in the 40s for Tuesday and Wednesday, near 50 for Wednesday, but then middle 50s for Thursday and Friday, possibly in the lower 60s once we get to Saturday. And the better chance of rain will be overnight. So Saturday right now, the forecast not looking too bad at all. We are going to drop following that rainfall. Highs near 50 for Sunday, and then back in the lower 40s for the middle of next week. So a little bit of a temperature swing over the next 10 days and no big systems in the forecast. Light snow tonight, and then that rain over the weekend, not expected to be a massive amount.
All right, Jacob, thank you. Don't forget to stop by Jay's Bar tonight in downtown Madison for this week's taping of the Wisconsin Huddle. Sports director Andrew Banstra will be joined by Wisconsin Volleyball's Alicia Andrew. Taping starts at 7. We hope to see you there. Just ahead at noon, Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company is here answering your plant and garden questions. Email them now to tips@channel3000.com and we'll get the answers next. Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company is here answering your plant and garden questions. Email them now to tips@channel3000.com. Well, it's feeling like November out there now.
Today it is.
Today it is.
Today it is. I know. I was hoping for a little more snow than we got.
Yeah, it was pretty.
It was pretty. We got a dust at my house.
That was us too in Wanakee. So, yeah. Just enough to get the roads a little sloppy, but
I don't even think we had that much on the west side of Madison.
What do we have here today?
So this is a hellebore. Hellebores can be perennial. We see them a lot in the spring. They are really early, one of the first perennials to bloom. This is new having them at the holidays.
Yeah.
So I think that they're greenhouse grown, so I don't know that it would be tricky to get it to overwinter, but you could try. And then if you manage that, then you can plant it in the ground. But otherwise, I think it's sort of meant to be a holiday flower.
It's very pretty.
I love them.
Well, hey, we got a lot of questions to get to. We're going to start with Deb. Deb wants to know when she should harvest carrots and parsnips, and once she should bring them in, how should she store them?
So carrots and parsnips, if they're still in the ground, you want to harvest them before the ground freezes because that will smush them up. They need a temperature around between 35 and 40 degrees. So once the ground freezes, they'll be wrecked. Unless, of course, you have them in like a cold frame where the ground will stay non-frozen longer. So I'd harvest them soonish and then bring them inside, and easy to keep them in the fridge, in a paper bag in the part of your refrigerator that has a little bit higher humidity.
All right, question 2. This person did not give their name, but is it too late to plant tulip bulbs?
It is not. If you can still get in the ground, which you probably can because it's been a relatively long and mild fall, go ahead and plant them. I definitely use some root stimulator when you plant them. You may not get flower bulbs next year if they don't establish enough to develop them, but the plants will come up and then they'll flower the year after.
All right, question number 3. Moraine, hopefully I said your name right, says she has a tropical canna that is potted indoors and is still blooming. Does she have to dig up the bulb if it will remain in the house over winter, and can she keep it growing?
Cannas are not great house plants, so enjoy it while it flowers, Moraine, and then when that's done, cut all the foliage back. Take the bulb out of the pot. You will notice it is much bigger now than it was when you put it in there. So that's best because they really do, since the bulbs expand so rapidly, they really do need to be repotted. You could even probably divide it. You just want to look for a mass of a tuber with a bud on it. And if there are several of those, you can take it apart, let that dry, and then replant them in the spring.
All right, question 4 comes from Beth. Beth has Christmas cacti that are starting to bud. They're on her heated porch with lower light and temps than her inner house. Can she bring them into the house without suffering bud drop?
Yes, you can, but what they're going to need is a higher light to really develop the flowers. They're going to need that highlight. So put them in a sunny window that is cool, and then make sure that until those flowers really start to open, that you have them in a room where you have light during the day and then dark at night.
All right, I think we got time for one more question from Connie. Connie wants to know when she should cover her rose bushes and should she cut them back now or in the spring?
So for rose bushes, if you have hardy roses, I'd wait until spring. You're going to get some dieback every winter. You might as well get it from this high rather than this high. Protect them from the rabbits. We had a really bumper crop of rabbits this year, so they'll probably be pretty hungry. If you have hybrid roses where there's a graft, then yes, you'll want to cut them back and put a cone or something on top to protect them from the temps.
Gotta watch the rabbits.
Yeah, the rabbits are going to be wicked this year.
Well, Lisa, thank you. Good questions today.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. Let's go to Jacob now for a final check of your forecast.
Temperatures slowly warming up throughout the week. We're going to be in the 30s today, but then 40s for tomorrow, maybe lower 50s Wednesday, 50s expected for Thursday, Friday, lower 60s Saturday. And we're going to be pretty dry this week. We'll have some snow tonight, but it shouldn't last into the day on Tuesday. It might, but especially by Tuesday afternoon, we'll be dry, and then dry for the second half of the work week with rain returning Saturday night into Sunday.
All right, Jacob, thank you. Thanks for watching News 3 Now at noon. Coming up next is The Bold and the Beautiful. Our next newscast is live at 4. And a reminder, you can always find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000+.